All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. An executive session was held in advance of this meeting to discuss personnel, contract, and legal matters. If everybody could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. No flyover? No. You used up all the fuel with the UFC fight. All right, thank you, everyone. At this time, need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. At this time, are there any public comments on agenda items only? None in the crowd, none online. Need a motion to approve the minutes from the May 12th, 2026 regular board meeting, June 9th, 2026 policy committee meeting, and June 9th, 2026 caucus meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Student reps are enjoying summer vacation, but we do have a motion to appoint Braylon McKee as our senior and Ariana Rylet as our junior student reps to the board for the 2026-2027 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. And to Mr. Browse for treasurer's reports.
All right, in front of you, you should have two papers. Slightly different format, but it has the same information that you've been seeing the last few months. So if you want to pull up the revenue one first, they're the ones with the 6,000s on the left-hand side. So again, we're 34.275 million of a $37.5 million budget, so 91% received on 91% of the way through the year. So trending well there. Got some state funding that's going to come in here yet, came in here early June already, but wasn't in the May reported numbers. So again, I think we're going to come in fairly close to that 37.5 million when it's all said and done. It is significantly lower if you look across there to 39 where we were last year. There was a lot of carryover from 23 and 24 that carried into last year that wasn't really last year's revenue, but got reported as last year, some of which is ESSERs and things like that that no longer applies. So again, revenues, trending, pretty close to, what we expect. Jumping over to the expense report, the 1,000 series items, $39.675 million budget. We're at 33.6, so 84% expended. But we're 92% of the way through the year. Again, keep in mind we'll have a big June with a lot of payroll accruals and stuff that'll happen in June that pay the teachers and stuff over the summer. That'll get accrued back into here. I think last year we had about $4 million of accruals, so that'll put us up there in the 38-ish range. I don't think we'll get to the 39.6 million, so we should see a little bit of favorability from an expense perspective there. No real call-outs there compared to last year. We were at 34 million, so we're within 400,000 of that. But last year we had a bigger debt payment, so about $900,000. So you take that way, we're about 600,000 above where we were last year at this time. So again, trending a little bit favorable compared to our plan, and very comparable to prior year. So there's some additional comments there, that you guys can read through if you have any questions. But
I have a couple questions. So in terms of the revenue, the 37 million, that's the revenue number we were projecting we were going to get using flatline state funding. Is that correct?
correct, the 37.5 is the budget
Yeah.
number based on the flat line. So yeah, we should. I think we got an extra 600,000 or something like that. But I know there's some other line item categories that we're going to run behind that'll probably use some of that up, like interest. We're not going to get the interest that we have gotten before and things
Okay.
like that in the budget. So that's why I think there'll be some pluses and minuses there that'll land us pretty close to that 37.5, give or take. Probably $500,000 or so.
Okay, and then even with the accruals that you think in June, you're thinking that we may be favorable at the end?
On an expense perspective, yeah, I don't think we'll reach the 39.6. I think we'll be in the $38 million range if I had to throw a dart right now.
Favorable just for expenses, but not favorable overall?
Correct, yeah. I think we'll be close to zero, but maybe, a little bit negative. But again, it's hard to tell. I mean, it could
Okay.
swing either way with, the accruals and the audit adjustments and stuff like that. I don't anticipate any large audit adjustments, so I don't think that'll be a reason, but it's hard to tell at this point.
Because I'm also interested in the fact that I know you mentioned the difference between the 33 million expended versus the 34 from last year, but we had the 600,000, was it was it 600,000 the cyber, the difference? What was the $600,000 difference?
Yeah, I
between
mean,
the
in
two?
theory, the guess was the adjustment to the PDE 363 would be, probably in that $500,000, range that should help us.
Right, but then, I guess I'm interested in the fact that we also have the first year of the CBA in there, which was a big expenditure over the year before.
Correct.
So I guess it's nice to see that we're not in a bad position. in
Yeah,
spite
the only
of
piece
that.
you're missing when you're compared to the year before is last year there was an extra $900,000 in extra debt payment expense in there as well. So really that number's closer to 33 million. So we're about $600,000 above, which, some of that is the CBA
Okay.
increase and then, small offset there
Okay.
with what you had mentioned, so.
Okay, all right, thank you. I have another question. So in light of what we were talking about last week with the thought of maybe reallocating funds within the general fund, I was kind of wondering where we might be coming in. Like, are we going to be tapping in a lot into our general fund to balance this year? When will we have to do that, or can we do that? Like, if we were going to move monies around?
Well, I think we'll do that after the complete audit is finalized,
Okay.
and those finalized numbers come from the auditor. That way we'll know what our actuals are, and then from there you can, if in fact there is anything favorable, we can go ahead and set where those funds are going to be readjusted, and how much of those categories you would like to.
To keep in each one.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly, if that's.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. We got to see, that's one of the very last steps of the audit process is to kind of come up with what those numbers are.
And that audit process, though, is still looking at last year, though, right? The audit process
Correct.
is not going to be finishing, looking at this year that's finishing July, or June
Correct.
30th?
Yep,
Okay,
that'll be, wrapping
Okay.
up June 30th, correct.
okay, thanks.
Anybody else, any questions for Mr. Browse? All right. Next up, got some payments of orders. Need a motion to approve the following. June 2026 General Fund FNB wire transfer for $60,657.66. June 2026 General Fund prepaid bills for $466,465.52. June 2026 General Fund MP wire transfer for $298,687.66. June 2026 Cafe Wire FNB for $116,497.56. June 2026 General Fund FNB prepaid bills for $138,460.13. And June 2026 loan proceed FNB wire for $1,442,445.65.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Need a motion to authorize payment of July bills. Doing this now just because we're going to most likely cancel the July meeting.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next up, need a motion to approve personnel items 6B through 6J. I'll tell you when.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
And I will abstain from voting on letter I, number 2.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Anyone opposed? You good?
Yeah, I was just worrying about the quorum thing, but because she was abstaining from all of them, not just from herself, under 2. But I think we're good, right? Because we still have the
We
other
still
5.
have 5, yes, yes. Thank you for checking. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, motion carries. All right, now we move into a whole laundry list of things here. First up, need a motion to recommend the board approve the workers' compensation insurance renewal with UPMC Work Partners at a premium yet to be determined? Or do we have that number? Did we miss that on the agenda?
So we'll have to get back on that number. I know we were working through the safety committee to get a reduction in some of our premiums on that end. But no, I do not have,
Do you need to have it approved this meeting?
I think in order to have it ready to go for July 1,
Can we say for, with the premium to be determined by negotiation with the administration or something, or by the state, whatever, whoever's going to make that determination?
Or would it be safe to label it as not to exceed last year's amount?
No, because the second sentence says a decrease or an increase over last year.
But I thought he had just said they were trying to get a reduction.
Oh,
So
oh,
that's
sorry.
why I assumed we
Yeah.
were hoping for less, but.
We got the reduction last year too. It was a 5% discount for safety.
Yeah, let's move on to number 2, and we'll figure that out. All right. Next up, a motion to authorize the Director of Financial Affairs to make budget and fund transfers as part of the year-end financial statement audit. A full report of budget transfers will be provided to the board upon completion of the audit.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next, I need a motion to approve an MOU with the United Way for School Readiness.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, was that Leanne?
It was me.
Amy. Amy Raymond. Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next, need a motion to approve an MOU with the United Way for access to health care.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next, need a motion to approve an MOU with the Susquenita Education Association to clearly identify play and musical positions. There is no change to the rate of payment for these supplemental positions.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next, need a motion to approve the purchase of a used 2023 Ford Escape from McGuire's Ford for district use at a price of $20,510.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, where are we getting that money from? Like, where is that? Because that wasn't in our budget, was it?
So no, it was not. We did receive some money from the insurance company from the totaling of the one van. And we do have some funds that came in from some miscellaneous, what's the word I'm looking for? PA Treasury.
Yeah, unclaimed property. So, yeah, we got $8,400 back for the van accident, and then there's some unclaimed property that we're going to claim that'll cover the balance of that.
Okay,
We
cool.
haven't physically got that yet, but they told us it's available to us once we fill out the paperwork.
Awesome, thank you.
Any further discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next, need a motion to approve the athletic ticket prices for the 2026-2027 school year as follows. Senior citizens will be free. K through 12 Susquenita School District students will be free with a pass or student identification. Adults and non-Susquenita School District students will be $5. Children under the age of 5 will be free. And a single athletic pass will be available for $75 for the year. The district will be charging admission for fall, winter, and spring events.
So moved.
Second,
Any discussion?
do we need to identify senior citizen? Yeah.
There should probably be an age on there, yes. I forget what it was last year, 60 or 65.
We did not identify last year. This is the same wording.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think we should probably though then, even if it wasn't done last year. Do we do 65? Is that what, I don't know. I'm not there yet, or maybe that's the reason why I'm picking 65. If I
Or
go
45.
62, then I count, what?
I think we should go with 45.
Oh, there you go.
I think 65 is kind of that universal age, if everybody would agree with that.
Okay.
We can mark down that that would qualify as a senior citizen in the Commonwealth.
And is
For this
there,
particular reason.
otherwise, was there any change at all to pricing? Or is everything the same as last year?
This is exactly the same as last year.
That's good for people to know, I think, that there's no change.
The one consideration I think maybe moving forward would be thinking about a family pass for 2 adults. That if you have 2 parents coming or two grandparents who aren't 65 and older, what that might look like, that if you have 2 parents coming. So that was some suggestions from the community of maybe taking into consideration.
Yeah, it's certainly something we can pass back, and take a look at that. I think initially when we talked about this athletic pass, there's some pretty robust conversations about that and certainly the dynamic. And I know some feedback as well that we'll make sure we get that information out about charging at all fall, spring, and winter.
Spring was the big one.
Yeah, the spring events for sure, that kind of caught some people, I think, off guard there, that we need to do a better job of communicating that straightforward. But that's something certainly that we could take a look at, maybe not for the 26-27 school year, but it kind of explore what that pricing model would look like for the future to get that approved by you, the board.
Having said that, are we good with passing this and considering those things for future? And then we'll just, we'll just add the age and make sure that's communicated when this goes out to the public, that senior citizen is 65 and above. Okay. Any further discussion? Anyone opposed? All right, hearing none, motion carries. Next, need a motion to approve a memorandum of understanding between the Susquenita School District and the Susquehanna Area Mountain Bike Association for trail construction and community use.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion?
Well, first of all, there's a typo. It should be Susquenita Area Mountain Bike Association, not Susquehanna.
Thank you.
And second,
No, it's not. It's actually Susquehanna. It's SEMBA, the greater organization, the larger umbrella organization that's going to be supporting Susquenita Mountain Bike, but a larger organization that's going to provide some trail support for those development of the trails.
okay, then
Yeah.
I stand corrected. And then I don't need to abstain either.
Oh, all right, good. All right, any further discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Need a motion to approve GR Sponigal proposal to supply labor and material to supply an on-site tech to be utilized for campus-wide HVAC and plumbing maintenance at a price of $149,482. And just to note, this was part of the 2026, 2027 budget.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Need a motion to authorize the administration to advertise for GIZA Amendment 2 for the removal of 7 classroom partitions and the construction of permanent walls at the middle school. The final GIZA amendment will be presented at the August board meeting. The construction of the walls will not exceed $50,000.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I thought it was 40,000 last week. Where did the extra 10 come?
So the extra 10,000 came because we're not sure exactly that finality of the amount. So as we get closer, that work will be, as we advertise for the GISA amount, will be more specific. That number will more than likely not be $50,000, but I didn't want to undervalue it if it comes in at 47 or 46 and give you that 40 number. That 40 number is where we thought it would be when I presented that information, plus or minus. But having that as a little bit of a buffer, kind of, in case it does, once the finality of that contract rises, or gets finalized, we want to make sure that not to exceed. And that allows us the chance to continue that movement while we get that advertised and follow the procurement requirements of GISA.
Okay.
And just for clarification, this is something that we asked for as administration, rather than something that the contractors brought to our attention as a problem. We saw this as an opportunity to get done while the ceilings are not in, and these partitions are already, have been worked and can be removed, and we can get this done with having some of the scope of work already mobilized. It's more of a want at this point than it was part of the initial scope, but for sound, and just for something I think that was asked for on a regular basis by teachers who taught through those classrooms that had those mobile petitions. It certainly, I think, will lend itself to the longevity of the project without having to go back later and do an ad and remove certain ceiling tiles and other things.
Any further discussion? Anyone opposed? All right, hearing none, motion carries. Bear with me here as I go through. I'm going to move all 3 of these in one.
Did you want to go back to number 1?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, Thank you. You got a number for me?
Yeah, I was able to find it. So the next year's number is $55,528. This year's number was $58,508, so it is actually a $2,980 decrease from last year.
So give us the 55,000.
55,528?
55,528 is, the number.
And it was a decrease of?
A decrease of $2,980.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'm going, yep. All right, so remaining yet here, last one, under this section, need a motion to recommend the board approve the workers' compensation insurance renewal with UPMC Work Partners at a premium of $55,528 and authorize the Director of Financial Affairs to sign the binder for coverage.
So moved.
Do we want to add on that it's a $2,980 decrease from last year, the way the agenda's written?
I wrote it in there. Okay. Sorry. This is a decrease of $2,980 from last year.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Need a motion to appoint the following solicitors. P. Daniel Altland, Attorney at Law, from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027, at a maximum hourly rate of $175 per hour for meeting attendance and general work, and $200 per hour for litigation, arbitrations, board hearings, and other adversarial proceedings as per services rendered. This is no increase from last year. Also, Saxon and Stump for special counsel services from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th of 2027 at an hourly rate of $275 for partners, $240 for associates, and $120 to $160 for paralegals. This is an increase of $10 for partners and associates, and a potential increase of $25 for paralegals in the rates. Whistler Pearlstein LLP for special counsel services from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th of 2027 at an hourly rate of $230 for attorneys and $130 for paralegals.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, the last one, I'm not familiar with them. What do we use those for them for?
No, they're a new special counsel for us. They will handle certain cases involving cyber charter schools.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next, need a motion to approve a contract for Currents of Change Counseling to provide mental health screening services from August 24th of 2026 to June 1st of 2027 for a total cost of $6,000. I'm just going to do this one.
So
I'm going to
moved.
do this one first, yes.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I need to abstain from the Currents of Change contract.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Well, sorry. All right, now we're going to move the remaining three contracts. Need a motion to approve the following contracts. PSBA to provide member policy services, policy maintenance services, policy portal services, et cetera, from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027 at a cost of $2,000. CM Regent for the provision of cyber liability, student athletic, commercial property, including terrorism, equipment breakdown, commercial general liability, law enforcement, crime, automobile liability, and automobile physical damage, educators, excess liability, and school leaders and educators' professional liability insurance lines from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027, total premium of $143,601. This reflects the value of covered property of $98,728,000 with an increase in the total premium of $10,559 over fiscal year 2026. Also, Premium Healthcare Incorporated, Soaring Heights School, to provide special education and related services to students from June 1st, 2026 to July 31st, 2027 at a rate of $323 per student per day.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. On to policies. Need a motion to waive the first reading of Board Policy 214 and approve the new policy as written.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Need a motion to remove and retire Board Policy 212, reporting pupil progress.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Need a motion to approve a donation of $450 from Delville United Methodist Church for delinquent elementary lunch balances.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. And a thank you to Delville United Methodist Church for their generous donation. Next, need a motion to cancel the July 7th, 2026 Policy Committee and caucus meetings and the July 14th, 2026 regular school board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Marcy, would you like to oppose? Would
A
anyone
third.
else like to oppose?
Third.
Oh. All right. All right, hearing none, motion carries. Dr. Jones was not able to make it tonight for a CPA CTC update. I'm not sure. Do you have anything worth noting at this point?
I
or-
do not. Just that construction continues, and things really, you can see that visibility from the road, when you look up at Cumberland Perry Career and Technical Center, you can kind of see some of that redesign that's happening, and then the new addition that's off to the right-hand side. You can kind of see that in the horizon there as well. So we're excited, for that to be occupied, and we can begin that that process of the programs and moving programs and really looking at the growth of Cumberland Perry Career and Technical Center.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ward, you got your clubs polished and ready to go for this golf
I will not
outing?
be golfing. I will be driving the beverage cart.
Oh. What kind of beverages are on that cart?
Sodas and waters.
Okay, all right.
Blackhawk Foundation, I know it sounds like a broken record with the golf tournament, but we are prepared. We're ready to go. It's next Friday. Anybody listening that still is thinking on the line of getting a team together, we still have room for 3 more teams. This year we do have a record number of golfers. I believe we're up to 22 teams. And like I said, we got room for 3 more. And we also, I think just as importantly, if not more importantly, we have a record number of sponsors and sponsorship dollars raised. So I did start putting stuff on Facebook tonight just to recognize our sponsors, but I do want to announce them here. They are in no specific order, but Capital Blue Cross, Roar Bus, Lee Industries, Pannoni, McGuire's Ford, FNB Bank, Hometown Mortgage, Swales Accounting, New Look Plumbing, Lear Electric, Yoder Insurance, Highmark, Zartman Construction, Dr. Hanks Dentistry, Spinagle that we've talked about, and that's our sponsor. So we're looking for a great turnout. The weather at this point, we're getting within that window where we can start predicting, and things are looking good right now. So we're excited.
I hear Dr. Fox is a heck of a golfer. Somebody might need him on their team.
I am available if anybody needs
Mr. Page, you need a
comic
fourth?
relief. I could definitely slow down a group for sure.
All right. We got our meeting schedule there. As we just heard, that July 7th Policy Committee and Caucus meeting will not occur, nor will the regular meeting on the 14th. We will reconvene for Policy Committee and Caucus August 4th, and then regular school board meeting on the 11th. So yes, we all get a nice little break in July. Thank you to Amy Rabin and Leanne for so excitedly passing that motion. Okay, we're disposing of some things there, so I need a motion to approve the disposition of all the items listed there on disposition items numbers 1 and 2. I will not list all of them out.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, administrator reports. Would you like to go first, Dr. Fox?
Sure, thank you very much. Certainly, I know the last meeting was May, and we didn't conclude the school year yet, so thank you. A big thank you goes out to all of our teachers, our staff, our administrators, and most importantly, our students for a really great and successful 25-26 school year. So already, our work has begun before the school year was even over to gear up for the 26-27. And to do all the things necessary so when you arrive, students, that we're ready to go for you. Special congratulations goes out once again to the class of 2026. Thank you for being an outstanding class, and we're confident that you will continue to soar into your future. A special thanks goes out to Aubrey Lowe for planning and really taking that heavy burden in leadership when it comes to the Lifted Conference. It was an incredible day of learning. It was spectacular, from the keynote of Dr. Oliver Drayan, the Millersville professor, who spoke about AI and use and acceptable use and just looking at some of those pitfalls. And it was a great way to start the day. He was engaging to all of the presenters, including our middle school students and our high school students, that really captured a lot of the attention of adults. And we can be very difficult learners, and they did an incredible job. So thank you, and thank you to the committee. And I know planning has already begun for next year already. And it takes a lot to make that day go. From all of the sponsors, and thank you to all of our sponsors, to all of the planning that takes place, to the coordination, and to the presenters. If we didn't have presenters, we wouldn't have that conference. So if you're listening out there, please present. You don't have to necessarily even be an educator to present. We would love to have other people from other areas to be able to engage with us, to talk to us, and to really get that chance to tackle some topics that we as educators want to grow and learn from. So as you know, and you can see from driving through campus, we are currently under construction, so pardon our dust. We are planning on working through our ESCO project to a recent unexpected geothermal pipe repair at the elementary school on our campus. So thank you to everybody and their patience. Thank you to our staff at the middle school who got relocated here to the high school. Thank you to everybody involved with the extended school year for your patience of the unexpected geothermal leak to kind of punt a little bit for a week. Just thank you. And we know there's going to be that patience that's going to need to exist as we continue to work through those projects this summer. And thank you to the board for approving that next step in that GISA amendment to get those, that additional scope so we can get those permanent walls put into the middle school and really kind of put those nice finishing touches on that project. And take a look outside. You'll see some of those windows being set in the front of the building, the coloration scheme that you picked, the colors that pop, the middle school that's already coming, really coming together. And I can tell you that they've done a great job and still have a Herculean task ahead of them with a tight schedule. As we mentioned in a community note, we're transitioning to our new student information system, Synergy. So we're excited about this system. Be patient with us as well. And we know there's going to be some hiccups, some things along the way, but we're going to continue to work diligently. Aubrey has done a great job, and her team, as well as the principals and and all of our staff, to really look at spot check and make sure all of that data that's rolled over and migrated is accurate data as we continue to work through those. So we'll be sending out information very soon to parents to get really on this great parent app. That'll be a one-stop shop that you'll be able to click on and see and have a lot of data and power and analytics really within that app from Synergy. So we're excited about that, and we'll be sending out information very soon on how to access that, and it will be relatively easy for you to be able to download and to use. And like anything else, if you have any questions, we're there to be able to assist you. Thank you to the board for passing Board Policy 214 class rank. With this policy, we will be able to determine valedictorian and salutatorian at the conclusion of the fourth marking period, a modified fourth marking period for seniors. And thank you for retiring Board Policy 212. That was a little bit dated and antiquated. Thank you to Delville United Methodist Church for your kind donation to help us to apply to student lunch debt at the elementary school. And finally, as noted, our 26-27 student codes of conduct are published online. It's important for you to take a look at those student codes of conduct because there are some significant changes to those student codes of conduct, including cell phones at both the middle school and high school with further restriction. Middle school students in their homerooms will be provided pouches for storage, and high school students will place their smartphones and watches in their lockers before the bell rings for the beginning of the school day. Use will not be permitted during the school day from a.m. to p.m. bell. We'll provide much more information to parents from our principals as we migrate through this school year. Expect more information from us, as well as some FAQs that we'll be sending out. With that said, we hope everyone has a great and enjoyable summer, and our next scheduled meeting will be August 4th at 5:30 for policy and 7 o'clock for a caucus meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Yeah, I just want to mirror what Dr. Fox said in regards to my email to the community. Just with your cooperation and given the space on the elementary school property here so the contractors can get that work done. We're looking at a tentative date sometime early next week where we can open the campus back up, but I will send an email back out letting you know that it's ready to go. Also wanted to say we are way ahead of the schedule this year as far as summer planning goes. Scheduling is as far as it could possibly be. We're already looking at planning some things for the first couple teacher days. So the elementary school's in a really, really good place. I do want to thank the board as well for approving the new staff that we brought on board. We started our hiring process really early this year by looking at resumes and applications really late in the school year. But we're able to get some really good candidates. I think our cohort of new teachers coming in this year is A+, excellent. And just one more reminder, we already looking at next year. Back to school nights look a little bit different. For our 1st through 4th grade, we are bringing our students and parents back and welcome them back prior to the start of the school next year on August 20th. And our kindergarten night, it's not a big change, just a little change a couple days before the start of the school year, just to get our kindergarten students familiar and comfortable with the building right before they come in for that first day. And we'll have a staggered start like we do every other year, with the first half of the alphabet starting one day, and then kindergarten, the other half of the alphabet starting the next day then.
How large is the incoming kindergarten class about? Do you know?
It's not finalized yet. It was right around 100 when we got done with our kindergarten registration, but now we're starting to get some things from the attendance office with them doing the pre-registration before they come in. So right now we're still floating, I think, just maybe a little bit over 100, and our average class size is normally 125. So I would assume by the end of the summer we'll be 115 to 125.
Okay, sounds good, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, just a couple things I can clarify. So cell phone stuff, we come out to parents. I know I've spoke with Dr. Fox, so probably next week I'll get a chance to sit down with Dr. Fox and send out our little thing that's in our student code of conduct, and that way then parents can reach out to me throughout the summer with any questions. Back to school night, since Ken brought it up, construction willing at the middle school, hopefully, we'll be able to have back to school nights. Both ours were before school, and we think that's important to get the kids in there so they can walk around, because we got different areas of the school the grade levels go to. So and I already sent this stuff out at least twice, so there'll be a third time coming up. But back to school night for 5th grade, Wednesday, August 19th, and 6th through 8th is Thursday, August 20th. And I already sent that out. If you didn't get it, you can email me and I'll send it to you again. Schedules, like Ken said, our scheduling. So people always ask me too, what are you guys doing this summer? Just sit there and stare at the ceiling. We actually are very productive. So schedules are done for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. For the middle school, we're still working on 5th, which is our new group coming in. So we sit down with Mr. Ward and Mrs. Waldman to make sure we have the right groups and the kids where we need them to be, so we have a smooth transition. So we're still working on that, almost done with that. Staffing, like Ken said, it was a good year for us. We only had to hire one new staff member. We also hired Mrs. Ward to take over our emotional support classroom. She's been doing it for like 20 years plus at Central Dauphin, so she's going to be a great addition. She's the only new one we have next year. And like I just said previously, construction, it's a mess down there right now, but it's going to be hopefully ready by the school. I think Scott said we might have one wing back to us on Wednesday or Thursday next week, so we can actually start waxing those floors and kind of move around as we go. So I think they're moving pretty good.
I have a question about the back-to-school nights before school starts. What was the thought process behind that? The only reason I'm concerned about it is people that are on that last wave of vacations thinking that school doesn't start until the following
Right,
week.
so we sent it out. So 5th grade, we've done the last 2 years like that because they're coming from the elementary to the middle school. So it's important for them to see a familiar face when they come in the door. So they're not just like, where do I go? Because like my 2nd or 3rd year, there was 50 kids just standing in the middle of the lobby, like not knowing where to go.
Yeah.
And for 6th through 8th, we think it's important because back to school night is supposed to be more of an informational thing for parents, not a parent-teacher conference. So if you do it 2 weeks into school, the parents want to know why my kid's doing this, So if you give them the informational stuff, if they have those questions about 2 weeks in, that should be where we set up a meeting with the individual, so we're not taking up the whole time for all the families that are there. And I sent it out the first time in, I want to say, February, just so everybody had it, and it's like 2 days before school starts. But if they do have that, they can come in whenever they want. Not this year because of the construction, but in the past they could come in and say, hey, I want to get a tour. I won't be around that time. And we'll just, Mrs. Zabisky and myself can walk them around.
Now, did you say you did it last year?
5th grade,
With
we've done the last
just-
2 years. It's the 3rd year for 5th grade.
Okay.
Back to
I was
school.
just wondering, like, so it'll be interesting to see, maybe you don't even really keep numbers on it, but if your numbers go down or up
Right.
for
I
6th,
kept numbers
7th,
last
and
year in
8th.
5th grade. I have it somewhere, but I'll have to check for that. But
Just see what the difference in
we
the
had about,
attendance
I would
is.
say, let's say a class had 25 kids, we had at least 20 parents for every classroom for that 5th grade back to school, because they want to get in there, because the counselors are there so they can see them, the nurse, myself, Ms. Zabisky, and then the 5th grade teachers. And contractually, teachers only have to come to one of the nights, so I don't have any, like, the specialists there, like the gym facts and stuff, but they have a slideshow we go through just to introduce those classes as well, so.
Okay.
All right, so first off, I'm excited that our new student rep, Ariana Rylet, got appointed tonight. I've had the opportunity to work with her on a few different things, including she was a big part of helping plan that fall town hall. So I know she's going to be a great addition. I'm really excited to have her on board. And the other thing I just want to mention, because last meeting was in the middle of May, our graduation. Thank you all for coming out. I thought it was a great night. We continue to get extremely lucky with the weather, and just everything just went so smoothly. And I just want to thank you all for being there and helping us kind of get to that ending point. It's going to be, a lot of work into the next school year, but we're already revving up and getting schedules and everything like the other principals were talking about, jumping right back into it. So thanks again.
So I just want to say thank you to all the parents, teachers, paraprofessionals. We did, due to what's going on at the elementary school, we did have to push ESY back a week. So they were very receptive. We didn't lose any paras, teachers, or anything, so we'll be pushing it back. So instead of running June 16th to July 16th, it will be June 23rd to July 23rd. So we've been able to kind of push everything back, which is really helpful. In addition to that, in July, we will start having our meetings with all of our early interventions. So we'll be getting a better idea. It's great to see them on paper, but it's really nice to get eyes on them and really see, the students' needs that are coming in, so we can plan accordingly. We are up and running with 2 autistic support classrooms this year. We have developed a need for that. And we do have 2 teachers that I'm very, very excited about bringing on board to support those rooms.
So in his unofficial capacity as Dr. Tom Kramer, starting July 1, he'll be here every day. And we look forward to Tom joining us. And
Weekends included.
But it is great to see, Tom here even before his contractual time, to really immerse himself. And then we'll send something out, certainly to our staff to welcome and to introduce Tom. And it'll be a really good July 1 will be a great start. So we're excited to have you, Tom, and we're excited to work with you, and excited, what you're able to bring here to the Susquenita School District and our greater community. So formally, welcome once again.
Thank you all. Any board members wishing to provide any reports or statements at this time? I'm going to sit here and stare at you. I find it hard to believe you don't have anything. All right. Wow. I'm just going to say, Jason, you didn't entirely rule out how much time you do spend sitting and staring at the ceiling, just for what it's worth. The graduation thing, I don't think there's much luck involved, because it's been just so good for the past few years. So we're going to have to figure out a way to keep that going, knock on something or do whatever. But boy, what a great night that was. I just, the weather the entire week was pretty miserable leading up to that. And then just to have that for the graduating class of 26, all the graduations mean a lot to all of us that are sitting here, I think. But selfishly, that one meant a little bit more for me, because I, had a kid walking across the stage. So thank you to everybody that puts that together. I greatly appreciate it, as does everybody here, I believe. So, all right, just a couple of remaining things here, if nobody else has anything to say. Leanne, you sure? All right, we're good. I'll stop. Okay. Public comments in general at this point. Do you have none in the crowd, none online yet? Everybody's going to love this that's sitting up here. I need a motion to adjourn this meeting to executive session with no further voting to occur afterwards.
So moved. I can't say.
Second.
I'm afraid to ask if there's any opposition, but I have to. Anyone opposed? Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.